who arrived on Wednesday will get an advantage applying to college, applying to corporations over a heterosexual white male in particular. That's the biggest hate group, but any white American. And all of the civil rights laws have been, and affirmative action and so on, have been twisted into just anti-white hatred and open, egregious discrimination. So to make the point that Kamala isn't a foundational black American. I'm always pointing out to black people, hey, have you noticed Indians are getting all the good diversity jobs?
Well, let's see how they try to twist it up.
What did we do to Indians? We didn't enslave them. I mean, most of these immigrants coming in, most are from, 90% of legal immigrants are from the third world. And mostly we've just run around saving them from earthquakes and tornadoes and coups and starvation. You know, they owe us. We don't owe them. But to switch from the concept of integration and civil rights for black Americans to this BS-y diversity, it's nothing but discrimination against white people.
Hey man, did I just hear that right?
And that point should be made not just to, as I think Trump is always thinking, oh, he's going to win the black vote. He's not going to win the black vote. You ought to do things because they're the right thing to do, not because this is an appeal to black people, like releasing criminals. He thinks he's going to get the black vote by being soft on crime.
And Coulter,
she crazy as hell, that shit. But she good people, though. She good people.
So this whole time, you guys have been working together?
Yeah, silly. I told you I had it covered.
I'm confused. Me too. I thought Ann Coulter hated everybody.
Who, Ann? No, man. She just do that to get that redneck money. Let me tell you something about it.
Anyway, not only to point out to black Americans that their history is being stolen by immigrants, but to remind white Americans that this whole diversity thing is just discrimination against them. You still want to vote for the Democrats?
We're in a federal building at the Ronald Reagan building, throwing up Nazi salutes in the Steve Spencer. All of these, not Steve Spencer, but Richard Spencer, all of these guys are basically open white supremacists who practices Nazism. So Trump is associated with that, just like Reverend Wright was associated with Barack Obama, and you people here criticized him for that.
You don't say he was associated.
Yes.
You said appointed people to his cabinet who throw up Nazi salutes. Steve Bannon, by the way, is not in the cabinet. Has Steve Bannon thrown up a Nazi salute that you are aware of or can prove?
But Steve Bannon is a part, and he was representing that whole alt-right movement. So if we're going to play
Steve Bannon at this meeting? I mean, what does Steve Bannon have to do with this?
Well, the same thing. He was associated with the people doing it. Just like how you...
For that? They did. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting, in their words, that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
Nothing more than white supremacists. And if we can go deeper than that,
okay,
and if we go deeper than that, with Trump, if we go deep, but we haven't gone deep enough, Tucker. But I want to get factual too. But the whole campaign was run on a white supremacist platform. That's what I'm saying.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years, and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives. I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
got, you've got a point of view that is legitimate. I think.
160,000 Twitter followers. You've written a bunch of books. People believe you. And people are worried about Trump, and they don't know what this administration is going to look like. And here you come out in public this morning and say he's appointed people to his cabinet who are Nazis, literally, to quote you, who are giving the Nazi salute. And that's not actually true. And you knew it wasn't true when you said it, and yet you're whipping people into a frenzy.
And it's not true when you're saying it now. It's not true when you're saying it now because I didn't say that, and that's the problem.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is. And, someone rolls in from Ghana and gets an MSNBC slot and starts speaking on behalf of black people. It's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this.
Right.
No. What you're saying isn't true. Sir, he's appointing a guy who's associated with the alt-right, and the alt-right, they are literally throwing up Nazi signs. Not only that, Donald Trump himself, he is disenfranchised and discriminated against black people his whole career. Okay. So this is not something that I'm just reaching out of a bag. And there's other people associated with Trump in the cabinet who have practiced systematic racism for years. So I'm just not pulling anything out of a bag. Even in the campaigns,
I wonder
black
how
people were getting beat
much
up
is
and
worth our
called
time
racial
to
names. So
kind of
I'm not
prosecute
pulling
this
something
logically.
out of thin air, Tucker.
Let me
I'm not
just ask you
pulling
two-
anything out of thin air.
Terrible.
Well, just because you get an individual black person and
Well, I'm just wondering,
tokenize
what do you
that
think
black
he thinks
person,
of
no
that?
matter how qualified he is, no matter how qualified a black person is, if you tokenize a black person and put him in a system of white supremacy, that doesn't negate the system of white supremacy. You just put a black person as the face of white supremacy. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. So I want to ask you about some stuff that you've written.